I'm going to make this a
I love that
ringtone.
part. All right. Welcome back to the I Love Annuities podcast. I'm Jeremiah Conger.
And I am Zachary Van Ness. And together we are the Annuity Dudes.
Today, we're diving deep into a hot topic that's especially timely: upgrading or replacing older annuities.
Do you remember having those ringtones? Like a song as a ringtone?
Yeah, of course I do, man.
Did you have a go-to?
No, I don't think so. I think at one point I had MC Hammer.
Naturally. Who wouldn't?
Can't touch.
What did I have? I had the Monday Night Football one. That was a good one for my alarm. So that thing would wake me
What
up.
the? Oh, no, that's the NBA.
No, it was the now I can't think of it. Anyways, but it was loud enough to just startle you awake.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The ESPN.
the ESPN one, yeah. Oh yeah. All right, I digress. What are we here to talk about today? Not ringtones.
Yeah, we're talking to the opportunity right now to upgrade or replace older annuities.
Yeah, and really, when we look at this, we're seeing a lot of traction here and a lot of communication that we're having with existing clients and folks that we've never talked to before, and just wanting to better understand if there's a better opportunity out there for them for any annuity agreements that they've purchased, whether it's 3 years ago, 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, just to compare the market where we are today to where we were, 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. And the big question today is your annuity still the best that it can be? Or could it use a little upgrade? And could there be some additional benefits at exploring some of the newer product innovations that have happened within the several last years?
Yeah, and what we're finding, when it comes to the interest rates today, they are dramatically higher than what they were a few years ago. If we look at back in 2021, I know in Florida here we saw rates that were dropping down to high twos, low threes on mortgage rates, for example. This means that current annuity products, compared to 5 years ago, are now offering a more significant or significantly better interest rates and better income rates as well. Higher growth potential, improved features, even we're seeing that change over time. So a lot of changes across the board.
Yeah, and it's really about just comparing these older contracts. The older contracts that we've seen as of late that have come through our organization, looking at replacement opportunities, those would typically have an income payout in the 4 to 5% range. And we're seeing today some of the higher income rider rates, depending on age, of course, but they're in as high as 7.5 to 8%. So there's significant opportunity in replacing these older contracts that can really give you a nice bump in your lifetime income payout.
Yeah. So really that 2 to 3% change. Well, what does that mean when it comes to your paycheck that you're getting every month? Well, ultimately that could be the difference between what you're getting now and an extra $10,000 to $15,000 a year.
Yeah, I mean, on a $500,000 annuity, that's a no-brainer, right? That extra increase is going to be worth your while to get that upgrade and benefit by having that higher lifetime income. So, when it comes to income-focused annuities, especially those that were purchased maybe 5 years ago, it's a fact that they may not deliver the guaranteed income that today's annuities can provide. So switching could mean more secure income every month, which means ultimately more peace of mind, which is why mainly people purchase these types of annuities.
Yeah, and when we get into these annuities, we also consider the different types that are there. So we look at lifetime income. Is there a way to improve that when we look at that comparison? We also look at the growth, right? We can also use annuities for safe market growth. And when we're considering that, we talk about that growth focused index annuity. older index annuities often do have lower caps and participation rates than what's out today. Um, Jeremiah, can you explain what that means for an annuity owner?
Yeah. So if you have a growth focused annuity, typically a fixed indexed annuity, you could even have an older variable annuity. And what's normal inside of those contracts in regards to how that contract earns interest is based on the performance of an underlying market linked index and the rates, the crediting rates of how that index performs. So, in other words, if you're in, let's say, an S&P 500 strategy that has a cap, back then, if you bought an annuity within the last 3 to 5 or more years, the caps normally associated with contracts in that time frame would be significantly lower. So, an example would be a contract having, let's say, a 5% cap. So, whatever the S&P does year to year, you can only earn up to 5%. But today, we're seeing cap rates significantly higher, and actually double that amount. So, if you're in an older contract that was more designed for growth, there's no doubt that you can get better deals today, given the fact that we're in a higher interest rate environment, which then correlates to higher annuity rates inside of these vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, if we talk about real life scenarios that we've seen, I know I'm working on one right now. Just as a baseline example, um, the S&P on her policy that she had purchased from 2021, S&P cap rate for a 1 year is 3.5%, and we're seeing that even higher now, right? So at no additional cost, maybe that same index is somewhere around 7 to 8, even higher, 7 to 8% or more.